Okay, hi guys. Hopefully this is coming through okay. I'm gonna take out my 80 plus Imperial Guard infantry, and I'm gonna start washing the armor on them because I need to get somewhere with it. Hopefully this is broadcasting. I think it is. It says live, yeah. So okay. Right. Just going to take it a few at a time because my workspace is actually pretty limited and I need somewhere to put them. So I have gone in. You probably can't see too much of it there. This is basically where we're at with them. It's not great focusing. Oh, there we go. That's not better. Flesh is washed. You can see the lighter grey. That's basically what I'm going to be washing blue, and then once I get all the blue washes done, I will start brushing on white coats for maybe we'll put it in that. I try and not use the same thing for the washes every time because I found you kind of pick up little bits of texture, little bits of flakes of dried washes and stuff. So it's just a lid off a Coke bottle that's sitting there. It's practically empty anyway, it's probably flat. So let's throw the wash in. The brush I'm using is a medium Citadel shade brush. I was using it earlier. So let's check the old phone and then we'll get started. I'm just going to try and load this up on my phone, see if it's working over here. But in the meantime, let's give this a try. These models were sent to me and they are on 25mm bases, not the updated 32mm, so they are pretty small bases, old school bases. So I have a couple of characters to do for this. I have a Finecast Tech Priest, I have an actual Commissar model, and then I think it's Company Commanders is what I have, and something else. I'm not sure what this thing is. It's that looks like it's a keypad and it's like a screen, so some kind of battlefield sensor. I have to do that up as well. Characters in. So I got this cool guy with a power fist. Let's see if we can get him in shot there. So there's him. This is the actual Commissar model. So I think we're all pretty familiar with this guy. He's got a plasma pistol and power sword. Feels like he's Finecast. You've got this guy here. Bow pistol, power sword. That could be it then. And the Tech Priest. So it's not too bad. The biggest part, or the longest part of this is going to be getting through all of this white armor. I'm not going to lie, the client's actually been really good. He said there's no rush in it, but the fact that there's like 80 something of them getting white armor is really, the thoughts of it are, you know, making me cringe. So like it's easy to do. It's easy to get it to the stage where I put the white on, but it's just building up the layers of the white to give it the depth with the paint is the problem. I'm not seeing this on my YouTube, but it says it's streaming, and I have 0 viewers now. I had a viewer at the start. Sad times. Yeah, no, it's it's locked. Does that mean it's on private? I'm just gonna open up my actual YouTube editor YouTube Studio. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm after making that live now, so people should be able to see it. Or not live, public. So I'm just going to keep going with this. I'm going to try and get all of the armor and guns and stuff washed tonight. Because then it'll be dry tomorrow, and with the way I'm working, I won't get to near them tomorrow or Thursday. It will be Friday's my next day off, so it might be, depending on what I get done over my lunch break in the next 2 days at work, I might be able to paint these guys again, or otherwise it'll have to wait till next week, because I can't bring these to work and wash them, because the wash takes about 40 minutes to dry, and I have to put them back in foam to put them in the case to pack them away after my lunch. So there's no point in me trying to get them all washed and stuff from work, because they won't be dry, they'll stick to the foam, and they'll just make a mess of the work I've already put into them. I don't really want to do that. Two down, 70 something plus to go. It's easy. I tried doing a test stream earlier and it did not work out too well. I was talking into the mic and I had the thing set, or the audio input set to something that wasn't the mic on the headset, so it wasn't getting picked up. But it only took a few minutes for me to actually figure out how to use this software. It's OBS Streamlabs, which was recommended to me by Mr. Gale Prime. And I kind of figured out how to use a few different aspects of it, so I will work on making my own kind of stream starting, stream is ending, thanks for watching the stream, that kind of stuff over the next couple of days. But painting is my main priority, and this is just kind of like a background. Like, this saves me having to record a video on my camera, then edit the video, then upload the video, whereas I can just get straight into painting and actually ramble properly instead of worrying about the camera turning off or something. So what have I been doing this week? So far I haven't been doing much, to be honest with you. It's been pretty quiet. Paint wise, I didn't get much done today. Cleaned the house, real life things today, so I don't have to do them on Friday when I will have more time to actually do these things. What did I do today? I got all the cloaks done on. I have 24 of these guys, so 12 have blue cloaks, 12 have red cloaks. I started building the Warlord Titan when I was eating my Art of Warlord. I built all the Warlords. I got 2 boxes of Warhound Titans, so I have 4 of them to build up. I just started building the leg assemblies for 2 of them downstairs. I was eating earlier. Okay, so game wise, right, so paint wise, not much. You'll be up to date on that anyway when I release the What's on the Desk video, so I don't want to talk too much about it. Game wise, I played a game of my head's a mess. I played a game of WTC the other night. WTC is the tournament I'm going to at the end of the month. It's the World Team Championship. So just teams from each country go over and they play games, and there's a winner every year. So I'm going over with the Leinster Brigands Club for that at the end of the month. So I got a practice game in with list submission was Sunday night. So I submitted a list, which I think will do fairly okay, depending on how well I play it. I played it twice now, and the second time I played it much better than the first time. so it is kind of forgiving, but it's 4 bases that are this size. So there, that's an Imperial Guard, and that's just the base. That's not including the actual model. That's about this size as well. So I 4 of them size models effectively to bring on as hand luggage, because it was €25 return for an extra hand luggage bag, or €40 for an under the it's not cabin bag. It goes under the plane basically, and I don't really want to put models that are that big and delicate into the hold. That's what's called the hold. I don't want to throw them in there because they'll be absolutely destroyed. So it's either going to be minimal clothes or no clothes, and just buy clothes over there. I haven't decided yet, but the list is going well. So game wise, I've been kind of burnt out lately, not enjoying games and stuff like that. Even my dice are just pooping all over me, but I had a really enjoyable game last week, which kind of rekindled a bit of the fire, and then I had another really good game yesterday. Drove up to Dublin after work, played a game of War Machine, and then I played Aeronautica after that. Aeronautica Imperialis. I'm sure you've seen the video of reviews and stuff like that all over the internet, and I threw my one into the mix as well. It was released on Saturday, and I painted it up for Gamers World in Dublin. I'd be pretty good friends with the owner, so he asked me to paint up a copy for the shop, which is grand, and we played it yesterday, so it was really good. I had a really good laugh. His orc Dakajet was chasing my Marauder bomber, and he had to reduce his speed, but because whatever I was at a lower altitude than he was, so he had to reduce his altitude, which meant that he picked up speed, so he went over his max speed and overshot my plane, which is funny because then I was able to shoot him in the back. But other than that, I haven't really been playing much games. I'm definitely playing a lot more 40k after WTC, because I haven't played 40k in ages, and Age of Sigmar, Warcry I'll be playing a lot of, and Necromunda, and there's a Blood Bowl League starting in the club, so there is a lot of mainly specialist game stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. But until then, it's just focusing on the WTC. So I think next week I already have a game scheduled for War Machine, and then the week after I'm playing probably Aeronautica again, because it's quicker and easier than Titanicus, because then I can get in a game of War Machine as well. And what else? Game wise, don't think there's anything else. So 40k is advancing pretty quick at the minute. It looks like the Psychic Awakening is going to be another Vigilus style book, which I'm kind of happy about, because I seen the Genestealer Cult, the Tau, and basically every other faction in 40k at the minute had their icon in a picture the Warhammer community page put up saying that everyone will have new rules. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Tau get, because the Eldar are after getting the new plastic Banshee, which looks amazing. So even if it's only 1 or 2 models that every faction gets, I'd be happy out. Just something different, I haven't even built my Genestealer Cult army yet, but I'm just excited to see new models for 40k, because it's something to get excited about. What else? Plans for the Blood Angels? I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really looked at the new Space Marine Doctrines and stuff like that yet. I am not really concerned about them. I'm not trying to get bogged down, because I know I will want to play proper games of 40k if I go and start looking at that stuff. But I think I will be picking up a Primaris Executioner or 2, because I want to build up my Blood Angels chapter. I want to flesh it out. I want to have as many models as I possibly can for the Blood Angels. I am definitely buying an Invictor Warsuit, because I think they just look class. What else? I don't know about buying the multi-pose infiltrator models, because I already have the Shadow Spear set, so I don't think there's really much point personally in me buying another set of them. Maybe I will down the line, but right now it's not a main concern. I want to get stuff I haven't painted before, so like the Executioner, the Invictor Warsuit. Probably going to pick up another unit of Eliminators, because the last Fusilier gun, I think is what it's called, looks really powerful. And I think with the Devastator Doctrine, you can fire that at an extra minus AP or something, if I'm not mistaken, so that'll be really good on that, especially because they can target characters because they're snipers. What else was released recently? Don't want to get too excited about Age of Sigmar, but I'm probably going to start the Sabira Bone Reapers, or whatever they're called, basically the new Tomb Kings, because they look absolutely amazing, unbelievable models, and I would definitely enjoy painting them. I should send a quick text. Quick text to the boss lady. I'm not going to rush into them yet until I kind of catch up a bit on my Blood Angels painting and commissions and stuff, but that is definitely on the cards before the year is out. I'll be picking them up, because one of the lads in the club does play Age of Sigmar, so I will be trying to get a couple of games of Age of Sigmar in near the end of the year, and the models are absolutely amazing. They released the Obsahor, it's the oak that looks like it's got a dog's head, and it's like collecting bones, and he's got a kind of Egyptian style knife thing on him, and he's just terrifying but looks amazing at the same time. And I wouldn't mind, the whole faction seems to be 90% bone and like 10% armor plates, but it just looks amazing. And if something gets you that excited to play, you should definitely follow it up. Adeptus Titanicus will definitely be getting played a lot more, because I can focus on actually getting the models finished after WTC, because at the minute I'm just getting bits in. I might get an airbrush highlight done on a model between working on WTC stuff. The client isn't in a rush at them, because I have WTC stuff to paint for him as well, so I'm looking forward to getting them finished and actually playing with fully painted Titan Legions. Aeronautica is all painted up as far as I know. There's no other planes being released for it yet, so and I don't really see the point in adding too many more of the same planes, because if more planes did come out, you're not really going to want to use like triples, and so like you wouldn't want 6 Thunderbolts or something like that in your list. You'd want to open it up a bit, so I'm probably not gonna pick up any more Aeronautica for painting. I have a lot of Warcry to paint, but again, Warcry is amazing. And speaking of Warcry, the Warcry Monsters and Mercenaries, I'm trying to concentrate here and talk, and it's not that easy. So Warcry Monsters and Mercenaries is after coming out, and it's basically like raids. If you played, I think it's meant to be like the tabletop version of like Dungeons and Dragons, or not Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft. WoW was in my head, and Dungeons and Dragons is what came out. So basically, you can't go and fight the bigger monsters until your warband has reached a certain like level of badassery, I suppose is the best way of describing it, which is really cool. And then also gives you a reason to pick up Age of Sigmar monsters from every faction. So like the Chaos Giants, there's a Chimera. I think they actually just repackaged the Chimera model for Warcry. Stuff like that. So just it kind of opens up reasons to have like random models from each faction just for painting, but you can actually use them instead of just having like I have a Salamander's Contemptor Dreadnought, which I never use. It just sits there, you know. But you can actually play campaigns to use these, and I think there's a Warcry campaign starting after WTC. Monday is Specialist Games Night in Gamers World, and a chap that I was talking to 2 Mondays ago when I was playing Titanicus basically told me that there is a Titanicus event starting up soon as well, so I wouldn't mind going to that as long as it's after WTC. What else did he say? There is a Aeronautica page being set up. There is Necromunda, actually, is the other one. The guy is going to be running a Necromunda campaign. And I have my Van Sar gang. I have Orlox and Escher all to paint up. Haven't even got near them yet. So the rest of this year is going to be absolutely crazy. I don't think I'm going to go to any of the bigger tournaments next year, so like the Welsh Masters, WTC, just because I want to focus on building myself up a bit more, if that makes sense. So building the channel, building my armies, building my skill. Instead of just working towards events, I can just keep working and get stuff done. Like, I do enjoy going to events like that, but it's a different country. It's a hassle getting it off at work. If I don't go away to events like this, I'll be able to go to more localized 40k tournaments, Deptus Titanicus events, Necromunda. There was a couple of guys playing Necromunda in the shop yesterday evening, and like, they just had the boards full of terrain, and they were talking about plasma and rad guns and all this kind of stuff, and I was just getting really excited for it, even though I haven't played it. So I'm just going to spend the next year, I'd say, after WTC, just getting my feet on the ground with all these different game systems and actually enjoying playing, instead of kind of training, I suppose is the best way of putting it, for competitive games. Like, I want to just play the games, want to try out some funky stuff, use all my models, be motivated to play, be motivated to paint my own stuff more so than the commissions, because obviously you're motivated to paint commissions because you're doing it to get paid. But just something different, actually having an end goal, driving towards it. Like, I have, I think it's, I have a normal hammerhead, I have a Sky Ray hammerhead with all the missiles on it, secret missiles. I have a Riptide. Wanted to buy another Ghost Kill, but I stopped myself because there was obviously no point, because all I'm doing at the minute is just building my stuff and leaving it aside. And like, I have a full Gene Stealer Cult army there. I have a few bits to pick up off someone else. So I just want to work on getting all that stuff done. I was looking at Conquest stuff that I got in the post last month, and I was just actually pretty excited to paint some of the deck guard stuff. I don't know what's going on with me. It's pure heresy. Wanted to paint some filthy deck guard. So I've done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. I've done 23 gardens so far. Good afternoon, Dara. How's the form? It's nice to know that live chat actually works, although it's not saying if any viewers. This is definitely going to be a learning process for a while. They will get a bit smoother over time as I do more of them and get a bit more comfortable with the software. So I have 23 of these guys done, and there is at least 50 more to do, but at least the wash will be well dry come Friday morning, I suppose, when I'll get back to these. I'm gonna, once the wash is done on these, I'm gonna hit some airbrush layers down on. I have the Trident to work on. Sound quality is good, spot on. Cheers there. When I set this up earlier and tried to use it, I didn't realise that the mic of the desktop could pick up the sound coming from the desktop at the same time, and I don't know what happened, but it just had the same sound on repeat, so it was very much not ideal. This is a bit better though, because I have it rigged to just take the audio from the headset. It's a pretty simple program to use, but I just didn't have time to be goofing about making graphics and stuff tonight, because I just wanted to get some of this stuff done. So I can leave the washes drying, I can airbrush some base coats onto the Trident and one of the Colossals that's not in a great stage of being completed. And when that's drying, then I can go back to painting highlights onto the cloaks of these guys who are now dry. So I have the blue guys to do, the red guys to do. They have had a silver dry brush highlight. I've done that earlier on when I was trying out the software at the start, and see how I get on from there. I'm working tomorrow, so I'll pack something to work on my lunch break. I might take the big guy with me, because I washed this is the big guy here. I washed all the silvers and golds, and then I realised that he's a cannon here. He's a cannon here. He's a face quill that probably should have been silver. There's a few bits in the leg joints that I didn't get. So I'll just tidy all that up with silver, and then I can rewash it and wash the brown. I'll just have to mask off a few bits, which hopefully will work well, and I won't get too much overspray, because I was looking at some of my older painted stuff, and it's kind of embarrassing. Like if I took out the towel and you seen the blue glow on them, it just looks like someone pointed a spray can at them and exploded it. Dara's asking, is there much guard left? Yes, there's a lot of guards. There's at least 3 more handfuls of guard to be washed, and then I have to paint all the armour white, which will be 3 coats to get the white to a solid colour, and there's a few flamers which I'm going to paint the tanks bronze on and then wash them. And then a few guys have bandages and weapon straps that need to be painted a flesh colour, or not a flesh colour, I think it's Death Guard green is what I'm using for it. So basically they would look like this colour here on the little ammo box thing is the plan. But yeah, loads of guards left, and then I put the characters away. I think I have 2 company commanders, a commissar, and a fine cast tech priest. I think the commissar is fine cast as well. He's really flimsy and light. I'm playing Warhammer 40k combat cards on my phone at the minute, and there's a lot of the Tau stuff on it. It was in the last campaign, so you were fighting Tau on it, and if you basically the more you play, the more points you get, so the higher up the league you get, so you get better rewards at the end. But all the cards are named, so there's Blood Angels. It's a Dead Company Dreadnought. I keep thinking Redemptor. It's a Dead Company Dreadnought called Casanor, the Damned. There's a Hellblaster with a name. There's obviously characters and stuff. So Commissar Yarrick. When the White Scar stuff got released there a couple of days ago, or a week or 2 ago, there was a load of White Scars cards added to the game. So I've loads of different names and stuff for the town now, which is kind of cool. And obviously I'm excited to play 40k again, but it'll be after WTC. So there's Garden Hobby left. I managed to push through, which is probably the most amount of batch painting I've ever done there, was the Ogren and the weapon teams. I batch painted all of them together, and that was probably the biggest brick of it. But I overestimated how many, or I underestimated how much work would be going into each guardsman by far. Most of the guys that I've done at start of stream are already dry, so we're doing okay so far. I was going to show you the Death Guard guy, because that's what I want to talk about, the 40k combat cards. I got his cards today when I opened the victory pack. He's a Death Guard Terminator Plague Surgeon or something like that, and I was just looking at the model when I was tidying up my shelves to make space to put stuff on, painted models on them and work in progress models, because everything is just on my desk. And I was looking at him and I was like, yeah, no, I really want to paint this guy. Like, I'm getting pretty excited to paint some 40k models. 40k stuff seems to do a lot better on YouTube than War Machine. People only want to look at War Machine bat reps by the looks of it. But I'm going to show off everything I paint. I'm not just going to keep it to 40k. But I will definitely be getting some more 40k content soon, because the Blood Angels need some love. I have a Primaris Captain and a Primaris Chaplain from Conquest that I need to build and convert up and get painting. It's the Primaris Captain. It's not the Gravis guy because I already have him. It's the one with the power sword who's like standing on a rock and pointing heroically, the way all Space Marines should be. Yeah, no, there's definitely a bigger following for 40k. But I think if you are trying to get into doing more kind of 40k related videos, you want to be doing like almost like a news report on what came out in the Warhammer community website, just looking at the models and talking about it. That seems to be generating the most interest in 40k at the minute. And basically the new Tomb Kings, I'm not going to bother butchering their names again, they have actually started generating a bit of interest across both platforms. So when I say both platforms, like more so for both types of YouTubers. So people that would only be Age of Sigmar YouTubers are obviously talking about them, but people that are 40k YouTubers are actually really interested in it as well, which is weird to see, but you can't really blame them when you look at the models. The models are absolutely amazing. Cheers stopping by there. Yeah, so don't think there's anything else mad or wonderful happening. There was one or two of these guys which I missed. I'm not even pointing this at the camera. So this guy's boots haven't been painted. He, whatever way it was, there was a piece of painting tissue over the side of the laptop, and there was 2 or 3 guys just sitting underneath it that I completely missed when I base coated everything else. So I'll have to leave him aside and get his boots painted up, because otherwise I will forget to do it. I was talking to a guy on Instagram called Bal Secundus. He's just kind of doing a Q&A thing on Instagram. It's like a message box on their story, and you can click on it and type your reply and whatever. And someone had said something about how the Blood Angels deal with Primaris Marines, and he said basically saying, or something along them lines. But he was basically saying that in 10 years' time, GW will have made bigger Marines again, and they'll move up to the 32mm scale. And I was kind of agreeing with him, and then I was just thinking to myself, like, any chance I get to talk about 40k lately, all I'm talking about is Primaris Dante, because it's basically all I want. Like, I'd give up my next 3 birthdays and 3 Christmases just to get Primaris Dante. There was something online somewhere, I can't remember, it was the Dark Angel thing. I think Kiriot was doing his video on it and he was talking about it, and probably Chapter Master Valrak. They were talking about how I think it's the Dark Angel's 5th company Captain Balthazar or something like that. Basically what happened was he got mortally wounded, but instead of putting him into a dreadnought, they gave him the Primaris treatment. So he went from being mortally wounded to a fully healed Primaris Marine. So basically, if you do get to be a Primaris and you cross the Rubicon, it basically fixes you, more or less. Like, if you were almost dying, you had an arm gone, he would regenerate it or something like that. It basically fixes everything that went wrong or whatever. And so, like, if you were dying, your first heart failed or something like that, it essentially could bring you back. So from the sounds of that, it has a better success rate than being turned into a dreadnought, because not only are you not a dreadnought, but you're now a Primaris Marine. You're still a Marine, essentially. You can still, perform normal duties and stuff like that. Not that a dreadnought can't or anything, but you get what I'm saying. So something that I've been toying around with for a while is the idea of Primaris Dante. So Dante is like the oldest marine in the galaxy. He's been serving for over 1,000 years, all this kind of stuff. Will he, especially with this Psychic Awakening coming, is he going to go full Black Rage because of the Psychic Awakening? Because he was nearly close to it in one of the books? Or is Dante going to be mortally wounded fighting? Obviously, if he was fighting Abaddon, it'd be much more fitting. But if Dante was mortally wounded again, like he was in one of the books, okay, this is just going to be, I'm just going to say spoiler alert now. The devastation of Baal, Dante nearly died, and just as he was about to completely turn to Black Rage, it was like all the Primaris Marines showed up and started killing all the Tyranids and saved the day, basically. So if that Dante was almost there, if that happens again and he goes full Black Rage, are they going to be able to save him? So if he did end up getting mortally wounded, would he be given the Primaris Rubicon treatment? Because Shrike has got it and been upgraded. Calgar's got it. Tigerius has got it. This Balthazar guy got it when he was nearly dead, and it basically rejuvenated him. But with Dante being so old, is he going to be rejuvenated, or will he just be Primaris Dante, which will be brilliant because that's what I want. It's either going to be Primaris Dante or, and this one might be a bit much to ask for, Mephiston is a librarian who essentially turned to Black Rage and managed to, because he couldn't go anywhere, he was trapped or something, he was able to control the Black Rage, which turned him from who he was beforehand into Mephiston. If he was mortally wounded, do they give him the Primaris treatment, or do they create a Primaris Librarian Redemptor Dreadnought? Which would be absolutely amazing. Even if Mephiston was just a character Librarian Dreadnought, I think that would be amazing. But if they made him into a Primaris Redemptor style Dreadnought, I think that would be absolutely amazing. Can you just imagine what that would look like? Just Mephiston's face, and then a gigantic force sword or spear, depending, and psychic powers coming out of it. Obviously, that's basically like asking for Sanguinius to come back because it's serious wish listing. But I would love, like, the way I was saying it to a couple of the lads was, someone isn't going to make it. They're going to try and upgrade someone to a Primaris, and it's not going to work. So that's why I was saying about Primaris Redemptor Dreadnought Mephiston, or even a Dreadnought Dante would be amazing as well. But I think Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Death Watch and Space Wolves have been put on the long finger until all the new chapters get their releases. So it's probably going to be after Christmas, I'd say, if they do one every 2 or 3 weeks. Because we have, what's next? Iron Hands and Raven Guard are up next, and then we have Imperial Fists and Salamanders, and then Black Templars and must be another one. Black Templars. It's a weird one. I'm not sure how to do that unless they release the Black Templar one with the Imperial Fist one. But again, I'm not sure. So yeah, so I think I'll call it there. That's according to the program, it's running for 39 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, so 2, 4, 6. I'm just trying to count down how many of these guys I'm actually after getting done. There's a huge chunk of them done. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, okay, we'll finish this guy. This is 45, and then that's probably enough of my rambling for one YouTube video. So that'll be 45 of them done. So that's definitely the halfway mark. do the rest of them now off camera anyway and get them done, because I'm running out of space on the desk to actually put them in. If you could, drop a comment below, let me know what you think of the stream. Any tips or suggestions will be taken on board to try and improve it, because I'll definitely be using it more now, because I have the I basically took the webcam out of its frame, which is this here, and that's the frame for it, and I have it held between I have it held in my clamp that I can clip onto a desk, which is what I normally use to hold my airbrush, just so I could get it up to a point where you could see the thing, because otherwise it was looking at it upside down and it was just really annoying, and I couldn't get it to sit onto the tripod or anything. So because it's a USB webcam, and this thing here is like a clip, but it wasn't staying onto the tripod, so that was the best option for it. So again, any feedback, any comments, thoughts, suggestions will be much appreciated, and this will become a bit more of a regular thing, and thanks to anyone who does watch it after it's posted. So that's it, guys. Up to 46 Imperial Guard washed, and then maybe in the next one we'll be painting the armor white on them. So cheers for watching, and goodbye.